Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, fillies and genticles, dragons of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Pondering Pony. I'm your host, John, and with me I have my co-host. Jay, you're a genius.
No, I'm not. I'm a chicken.
Of all the worst possible things, this is the worst possible thing.
Yep.
Anyway, this is a podcast about toy media franchises, 2000s nostalgia, and whatever else we want to talk about. And this week we are here to talk about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 2, Episodes 3 and 4.
Yeah. So, episode 3 is titled Lesson 0. This was released October 15, 2011, directed by James Wooten with Jason Thiessen as supervising director, written by Megan McCarthy, animation by DHX Media and Top Draw Animation, art direction by Rid Sorensen, and music by William Anderson.
And the plot for this one goes is that Twilight realizes it has been a week since her last letter to Princess Celestia, and she hasn't sent another one yet. And she panics and goes to each of her friends, but none of them have any issues for her to help them out with. And Twilight decides if she can't find a problem, she will make a problem. And she uses her magic to start a fight that ends up spreading to the entirety of Ponyville. And then Princess Celestia shows up, having gotten word from Spike that Twilight was spiraling. And Celestia tells Twilight that it is okay if she doesn't send a letter every week. And then the other main six barge in, and then they decide to send letters.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason this episode just wasn't quite working for me. I think it's like well conceived and well designed, but something about it just wasn't fully landing for me.
Okay. That's a little shame, because it is one of my favorites.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
I
fun
can't
one.
even like pinpoint a reason why. Beyond I think like the characterizations were just a tiny bit off with certain characters.
They're a lot more exaggerated in this one for comedic purposes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think especially, I mean, Twilight, obviously, she's always a little bit, type A, but here she was very high strung in a way we just haven't seen before.
Yeah, I mean, finally we have something that she cares about going wrong to the point where it's very important. Which I guess, all of her appearances in season 1, like, she's been on top of everything, and so but you could see little hints of that going on.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, this episode is kind of just like the writers taking what was noticed in season 1 and like some of the feedback from the fandom, because now at this point they now know what their audience is, and so they're giving them room to have more fun with how they do things. And this one is the big example of what they went with Twilight going insane, and that is fun. It pokes fun of some of the character traits of not only Twilight but of the other characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me it just wasn't connecting. Again, maybe because I'm slightly less invested in the overall show and in these characters. It just felt, I don't know, it felt a little too winking at the audience. Like, you guys like this, right? I'm like, it's fine. I don't know.
Sure.
It was more interesting when Pinkie Pie was having the mental breakdown.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this episode also contains one reason why this episode is really enjoyed is because it contains the Twilight freak out, and she gets to be very creepy in this one.
Yeah.
And that there's a lot of shock value in how extreme they were able to go, which now that the show has been 15 years later, now the target audience has grown up, and apparently this episode really traumatized them.
Okay.
um, they didn't really enjoy this when they were kids, so makes sense for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I feel like we did a lot of this with Pinkie Pie last season. Like if this had been built up, if this were like an episode late in the season and we were getting hints of this throughout, maybe it would have worked a little bit better for me. It just feels like kind of right out the gate we're getting something. I don't know. It just wasn't quite hitting for me.
I think you're expecting a little too much from this show to set up stuff like that.
No, not even that. I'm just yeah. The way it handled the characters was it's not quite flanderization, but it's like starting to turn the dial a little towards that. Um,
Yeah, we're definitely not at the point where it's flanderization. That will probably definitely very much come later on in the show
yeah, yeah,
once revolving doors and whatnot. Um, so far, this has just been like a one-off thing, but with Twilight, though, Twilight, we get to see a different side of her. We get to see her OCD-ness be more prominent, where we begin the episode with her ritual with checklists and having multiple checklists for doing the checklists. And that's a character trait that we're going to see more often. But later
okay.
on down the show, she is a lot more stressed of a character, for reasons. For reasons, we'll get to those reasons.
I don't know. It's interesting. I think that that is where like again we aren't far enough in the show, and these characters are broad enough in terms of like they're already kind of caricatures of themselves anyway. So the flanderization is going to be different than if this was like a more traditional show. But yeah, I don't. I'm starting to get the hints of like what's going to come in that regard, and it's like I don't know that I like stressed out Twilight. I don't know that I find that interesting. I'm sure they could do interesting things with that, and hopefully they do. But
I
yeah,
don't think
this
we'll
episode
ever
just
see
wasn't.
Twilight go psychotic and insane like this again.
Uh huh.
So they found a tamer version to go with. But yeah, it's something to look at and keep an eye out for the
Yeah.
future stuff. Um, Speaking of like fan feedback, I mentioned this a couple times where a lot of times fans felt that Twilight's role in the first season sometimes felt shoehorned when she had to
Okay.
like give the lesson at the end of episodes where she wasn't very prominent in. And so here was the writers like acknowledging that and being like, okay, now we're going to have the rest of the main six start doing the lessons in future episodes,
Okay.
which really opens up the door for more personalized lessons, I guess.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where that goes from here. Personally, I kind of tune out the end of the episode when Twilight is giving her lesson anyway, so because that's just the summary of everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we'll see where that goes. I do like the acknowledgement that like she isn't necessarily going to learn something new each week.
Yeah,
It
it's
it's a,
okay that she doesn't have to learn something. They could just do something fun, um, for whatever,
yeah.
and that does happen.
I mean, yeah, I was thinking of in high school in our senior year, I had to do this big project which involved like doing community service hours and a bunch of stuff. And for every, I
Oh,
think it was every 10 community service hours that I did, I had to like fill out this little worksheet that was like, what did you do? What lesson did you learn? And I don't know that anyone was actually like checking that, but you had to come up with a new lesson each week for like what did you learn, and it's like, well, literally nothing because I was doing the exact same thing as I was doing last week.
yeah, yeah,
So I don't even remember what I wrote down for those things, but yeah.
yeah. I got to be exempt from that
Yeah.
side of it. I still showed up for the community service to help out.
Yes.
Like, that was a fun time of just us waiting around, waiting for kids to show up and just watching the most random stuff. Like, I don't know, for some random thing we did, it's like during one of the lessons, we just played the Titanic sinking in real time in the background
uh,
and had
yep.
like epic classical music playing. Yeah, weird stuff that we did.
Yep.
Uh,
But yeah, then you have to, write a thing about what you learned while doing that. And it's like
mhm.
literally nothing. I learned absolutely nothing here. Why are you making me write this out?
Yeah, and Twilight has to struggle to come up with something, which, yeah, yeah, I get it. Having to come up with something weekly if you don't have anything can be a struggle. But you could write about how you could write the interesting aspects of, like, oh, I have nothing to write this week. Here's what I learned about having nothing to write this week. It's very stressful.
uh,
um, yeah. So your points about this episode, I've not really heard the same critique given, because most
okay.
people just enjoy this episode for what it is. The main complaints I've heard is just that Twilight was too relatable to some people, in that
Okay.
they really didn't like seeing Twilight being so relatable and how stressful she was, because it really reflected their stress, and it was like, oh no, this this is giving me trauma. I don't like this. Besides that, I don't know. I've not seen this same issue.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think the flanderization for me applies more to Rarity, who isn't in this much, but her whole thing in this episode is, well, it's two bits. It's one is she has this little couch thing that she faints on, and then later she does it again, but she like magically summons it. And then
mhm.
the thing you quoted at the beginning. To me, like the way this episode was doing it, I don't know. It felt like it was focusing too much on this one thing of Rarity, who's sort of the overly dramatic. We know this. She's a bit of a diva, but yeah, it wasn't adding anything for me. It felt like they're trying to sell that her quote here as like a new catchphrase or something. And I'm like, that's just I don't enjoy this the way I usually enjoy Rarity focused stuff.
Yeah, Rarity isn't in this episode. Isn't really here to be Rarity.
Yeah,
More so, she's here to be a comedic element, which
yeah.
she is. She's a very comedic element. Like the fainting couch and her lines, her over exaggeration of like her trying to find something that she's missing. Like that is funny.
If it had just been the first bit, it wouldn't have stood out to me. It's the fact that we hear the same line repeated, that we keep see that there isn't anything else going on with her character here. Um it was not so much this episode, but giving me sort of like a flash forward for what the show might become. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be, if this is what the show turns into, this is gonna be a bit tough.
I think this episode might be an exception.
Okay. I don't know where this is going. We'll see how I feel about it as it goes on.
Yes. Twilight throws hands with children. Like, she appears for the CMC, acts very creepy, and then gets into a fist fight with them. When her they argue they're fighting over the doll, and here we see Twilight's wanted needed spell that
Yeah.
really goes ham into town. In the end, Big Mac ends up with Sweetie Pants. Uh,
Yeah.
so he's a doll collector in this. So
Oh boy.
good for him. um,
You know what just occurred to me? The entire time I'm watching this episode, it felt like the reveal at the end was going to be, oh, this was all a dream. I don't know, the way it was exaggerated to be felt that way. Maybe that's what I'm bumping on here. that it feels exaggerated in a way that kind of broke with the reality of the show, quote unquote reality of the show. I don't know. And
Yeah,
honestly, it could just be the new animation was throwing me off. But
maybe. I
yeah.
don't sense any of your issues with this, so I can't really
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds
help
like
you out.
you are a fan of this episode.
I'm a fan of
And
this episode, and generally speaking, I think most fans would say this is within their top 10 of the show.
okay.
Like, it's not a deep episode at all. It's really just a fun one. You get to see Twilight be crazy. You get to see the side characters do funny stuff. Like here, Rainbow Dash and Applejack with their barn demolition.
Yeah.
It was funny to see Twilight go in a therapy session about Rainbow Dash's issues with Applejack, and we get this cool sequence with the atomic rainbow, which is a weapon that I wish Rainbow would utilize more, since she has it in her arsenal. Why does Applejack need the barn destroyed for a new one? I don't know.
Have to take one down to put one up if you
Yeah,
want it to be in the same place.
I think Spike in this one might have had like the biggest growth in in that here he starts showcasing some of the voice of reason. Like he's the one who contacts Celestia. He notices that things are wrong. He keeps trying to like get Twilight to snap out of it, which has a lot
Yeah.
of fourth wall gags with him dealing with the background splash, moving it around, which is it's fun.
Yeah, I thought his role was well utilized here. Where yeah, because he disappears for a good chunk of the episode. So when Princess Celestia shows up, then you're like, oh, why is she here? And then she explains it like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That Spike was smart enough to go and grab her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other popular bits: Fluttershy with the intense bear massage. Um, Again, shock value. Here she seemingly breaks the bear's neck and also like fights it, which uh comedy. It's fun.
Comedy, it's fun.
Yes.
Stole the words right out of my mouth.
Comedy, it's fun. uh Pinkie Pie is not interacted with by Twilight in this episode, but she has like some fun background moments where she shows up to the picnic with her little basket. She opens like the little cloth, and balloons just float the basket away, and that was the whole purpose of her bringing a basket, was for it to float away. And it's I don't know why she did that, but she did
I
it.
mean, hey, why not?
Here we got to see Celestia actually do something, intervening with the conflict and solving the magical issues. Um, but here's the thing, because we established in the show that Celestia is the one who raises and lowers the sun. So
Yes.
was she moving the sun this episode in tandem with the clock, adding to Twilight's stress? Was that a
Potentially.
purposeful thing? I don't know.
Yeah, the extent to which Celestia is or is not directly involved in things is always a bit of an interesting question.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I guess on to visuals then. I was noticing again, we kind of mentioned the animation before. There is the animation in I think this episode in particular.
Hmm.
It's a bit more there's more movement, it's a bit more expressive. We're getting a lot
Yeah,
more facial expressions.
yeah, it is very expressive. Like I noticed while watching just how expressive the faces were, and part of it, of course, has to do with the storyboard. The animatic storyboard for this episode was released or leaked, and so when you watch that, it's like, oh yeah, the storyboard is very expressive, and I think the animators just saw the art of work of that and were like, oh man, we really want to emulate that because it looks really cool, and they did a fantastic job. But yeah, a part of that could also just be, again, they realize the audience, and so they want to be more expressive and have fun with that. Um, this is the first episode that they worked on in this season, because last week we established that episode 1 and 2
Yeah.
was made around the time of the end of season 1. So this being the start of the second era of production makes sense with a different jump in quality. Um, and this is the introduction to something called the meme face, where characters do these very expressive faces, and bronies take screenshots of that. It's like, oh, that's a meme, a brony meme. And seasons down the line, animators notice this and they start making faces expressive for the purpose of having a meme face. So
Okay.
sometimes it's weird, sometimes it's funny. Um, and I think what makes the expressions very expressive is that they're now going like off model with the facial expressions, where season 1, uh anything that went off model was more like a reactive thing where something shocking happened and the character's reaction would be something crazy. Here Twilight is just having full normal scenes with very expressive faces,
Yeah.
um that is going a little bit off model, and that makes for some fun visuals. um and speaking of some visuals, we have a new updated intro
Yep.
in. So here's a couple screenshots about the updates. The first screenshot is from the first version of the intro, where it's simple. You got a horse carrying a thing, the balloons going down. Pretty simple, empty town. The updated version now has a train in the middle of town.
Yeah.
Uh, that horse has been replaced with Big Mac. Derpy is hiding in one of the windows. In the next image, the CMC are now part of the intro in the caboose. So it's also very colorful. There's like a slight
Yeah.
update to the color palette,
I will
which
say the like streak of brown running across the center of the frame, I don't know how I feel about that.
the brown
It's
train,
just
yeah.
it's just like I don't know. The previous intro has a sort of pastel greens and pinks and blues. This one just immediately like yellow brown, just kind of like yeah, it doesn't have that like greenish thing that I would think of when I think of Ponyville.
Hmm. Okay. Well, on to some animation errors. We have the first image of Twilight's dreaming of her being sent back to elementary school. Um, you might not notice this, but to the right of Twilight, the very first pony to the right of Twilight, there's something not quite right with that little filly.
Oh, are those wings?
Yes, she has wings
Okay.
and a horn, so she's a filly alicorn that should not exist. So yeah, there's multiple alicorns in this show that happened because of this thing. So um, yeah. The next image, Twilight, she orders cupcakes from Mrs. Cake, and the cupcakes, the frosting should be all pink. However, in this one shot, they are different colors.
Yep.
On to performances. The cast of this is, of course, Tara Strong, Ashley Ball, Andrea Libman, Tabitha St. Germain, Kathy Westlake, Nicole Oliver, Michelle Creever, Madeline Peters, Claire Collette, and Peter New. It feels like it's been a while since we've heard Big Mac talk, so it's fun to see him
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else to add on this.
For sound, the theme song was slightly updated. I think they re-recorded some lines, uh, adjusted some of the vocals. So yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you noticed any of those details, but the visuals were the
I
big
noticed that
standouts.
the the sound was slightly different. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still not the biggest fan of the theme music, so wasn't really doing anything for me.
On to illusions via the Pony Wiki. The scene where Twilight argues with her reflection in a puddle is a reference to Gollum in Lord of the Rings. Um, of course, from that one scene where he tells Gollum to
Yes.
go away. Leave. No, never come back. In a scene where Twilight says, "If I can't find a problem, I'll make one," she smiles similar to the Grinch from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. When the Grinch says, "If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead." Of
Okay.
course.
Yeah.
Sure. IMDb trivia, friendship report. Twilight and her friends learn that they should take a friend's worries seriously, even if you feel that it is not something to worry about. Yeah, that was something in the episode where I was like, oh, why are they laughing? And then we got to the end of the episode. I was like, oh, duh. They have to learn a lesson. That's why.
Yep.
Yep. Twilight seems to have gotten much better at teleporting. In previous episodes, teleporting only once seemed to exhaust her, but here she teleports several times in this episode without showing any signs of fatigue. So, yes, improvement. Starting this episode, the magic aura glows of Twilight, Rarity, and Celestia's horns have changed. Twilight's aura has changed from light purple to hot pink, Rarity's has changed from pale blue to luminous sky blue, and Celestia's has changed from aqua to gold. Yes, so they wanted to make it more distinct that the characters were using magic abilities, so they've added a little more aura to that ability. That makes it more obvious.
Yeah, makes sense.
hmm the music being played while Celestia confronts Twilight and her friends is similar to the score "The King's Speech" from the film of the same name. I okay, I can't confirm or deny that.
I have not seen that in a very
Yeah.
long time.
Yep. And lastly, Derpy appears in this episode, and she can be seen here battling the mayor for the plush.
Yep.
Well, before we move on to the next episode, we wanted to take a moment to tell you about where you can find us. We're Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie and Blue Sky and Serialized, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review and go join our Patreon at patreon.com/Binging Barbie Podcast.
So, episode 4 is titled Luna Eclipsed. This was released October 27, 2011. Directed, or yeah, same production staff, except this time it is written by M.A. Larson.
Yeah. The story for this one is that it is Nightmare Nights where the ponies dress up in costumes and kids go trick-or-treating. And traditionally, the celebration was meant to appease Nightmare Moon so that she doesn't eat the children. And now that she has been redeemed and became Princess Luna again, she's eager to participate in the festivities. However, everyone is too afraid of her, and Twilight tries to help her update her people skills to better fit with modern standards, but people keep misinterpreting her anyways. And finally, Twilight realizes that people are having fun being scared and suggests Luna lean into that and have fun scaring people. Luna does and is able to win over the ponies by being scary but fun. Uh, yeah, I mean, kinda.
Yeah, the plot mechanics of this are a little bit odd, but I mean the overall I like a good Halloween episode.
Yeah. Our first official holiday special episode where
Yeah.
we're imitating a holiday of sorts, and so this one being Halloween. Um, which so this one sees the return of Luna after so long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting way to bring her back. I think they do a good job of this. I was expecting she would kind of come back as sort of like alongside Princess Celestia as like a secondary character in that. So giving her her own space to come back, I think it's more interesting than some of the ways I was imagining they would take this character.
Here we get to see her on her own, and then in later installments we'll see them together. So um,
Yeah,
that should be
yeah,
interesting when we get to that point. Also, part of like Luna returning is that she gets a massive character redesign. Um,
yeah,
where she seems to have like grown a little bit. She's taller. Her hair is now flowing. She has darker shades of blue, and just a really cool and awesome looking design that won the hearts of many people, myself including. Yep, just a dope looking design. Nightmare Night in spookiness. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if it's like we interpreted the lesson wrong, or it's just that was an angle that they went with.
I mean, I think it is an interesting thing to discuss because not everyone, but there are people, myself included, who enjoy spooky stuff, enjoy Halloween, enjoy even just like being scared within the context of like safety. So yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know that I've ever seen a kids show tackle that idea. I don't know if there's really like a lesson that it is teaching kids here.
I mean the lesson is a similar lesson to Bridal Gossip, and like don't judge the character. um, like
Although most of the meat of the episode is more about um Princess Luna trying to fit in and then having to learn. And there's like that, be yourself. You don't have to try and change yourself to fit in element
uh,
to it. But it specifically ends
are
with
you
the
are you
note
are you
of
sure? Because she did change the way she spoke to be softer,
yes.
and she learned
It's
to have fun and be relaxed.
yeah. But there's the idea of rather than her trying to not be scary, to lean into that a little bit, to be scary but fun, rather than trying to appeal to the kids by being just fun, because they're going to always be a little bit scared of her. So she's at least that's what the lesson at the end of it is like. That's
Are
um
you are you sure that was the lesson, or just that's just what little Pip was saying, or that's what Pinky was saying?
I
It's like,
mean
oh, it's fun
that's
to be
what
scared.
yeah, that's what the episode ends on, I think. Because I specifically took the scary but fun from, because I had the transcript pulled up for the quote, um from the like final thing that Twilight is doing, her little letter to Princess Celestia.
Okay, sure. That's an interesting way to resolve Luna's um,
Yeah,
involvement.
I think it's an interesting thing for a kid show to do, because usually kid shows like don't necessarily acknowledge that side of things. I guess I mean, Halloween episodes of kids shows tend to be a little bit scarier. They'll push things a little bit further. But I don't know. It's interesting to see a show like My Little Pony be like, hey, this is a thing. There's not really much to say about it beyond that, but
Okay. I don't really have much to say about that. I didn't really get all that from this.
okay. You're not the type of person who enjoys like horror movies in that way, I don't think.
No, no, not really. I'm just here to see Luna uh, do stuff where here she's 1,000 years later trying to act normal, but she's so old fashioned,
Yeah. Yeah, sort of this fish out of water story. She
and
uses the
so
royal we,
she,
which is very fun to hear be used in just like regular conversation.
hmm yeah, the royal Canterlot voice where readers constantly projecting and speaking loudly.
Speaking
That
like
it
Galadriel.
must have been a really fun time 1,000 years ago. um,
Yup.
her wanting to get rid of Nightmare Night is very understandable. I mean, now that
Yeah.
she's reformed, I could it could be really odd to be like, oh, they're celebrating me not eating them. That's that's a shame, and they're just constantly scared of me.
Yeah. I think I like where this ends. This is sort of, she ends with being like, okay, no, there is actually value to this. I do have a place here
Hmm
as like, as the sort of the patron of Nightmare Night, as someone who is like, again, scary but fun, to take the quote
Yeah,
directly from the episode again.
yeah, and the fun has been doubled, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, seeing her like learning to have fun by throwing the spiders
Yeah,
is
we
just
have seasonally appropriate bobbing for apples.
of course, of course, as
Previously
opposed to
seeded the was that the movie or was it something else
I
from
think
the
it was
from
the
Gen 1?
I think Gen 1 it was like the maypole
Yeah, no,
for
they were having their spring festival, which involved a maypole, May, the month that is apparently in spring, and also bobbing for apples, apples commonly associated with springtime. No, here it is seasonally appropriate that they are bobbing for apples.
I don't know. I feel like apples are always in season in Equestria because Applejack is just always busy bucking them and all that. So
But this is Gen 1 Equestria where they actually have like winter, and I don't know that they actually control the weather in that way.
I don't think so either. No.
But anyway, yeah. I like that Twilight here is the one who recognizes that Luna isn't a threat. Because I mean, obviously, the thing that she is thinking is like, "Hey, I already dealt with her.
Yeah,
Like,
she's been
she's
reformed.
okay. Why
What?
are
What?
we
Why
doing
is?
this?"
Yeah. Why is everybody freaking out? um. Yeah. So.
So yeah, her being sort of the liaison in that way is fun to see. Pinkie
Yeah.
Pie is on the opposite end of the spectrum where she keeps making things worse.
Yeah.
Apparently a bit of a horror junkie.
Yeah. I mean, she again. She knows that Luna was reformed, but
Yeah.
she's like, um, going into the horror aspect of like, oh yeah, she's scary. Let's have fun and like pretend because like Nightmare Night is the night to do that. And
Yeah.
again, we're seeing that she's a bit ignorant of other characters' pain. So this one, Luna not really being happy of being scared of and being run away. So
but I do think there's an aspect of this which is because Pinkie Pie isn't doing this for herself. She's doing it for the kids.
yeah,
And she is
yeah,
like aware that like, hey, this is not actually a dangerous situation. So I can like play this up for the kids and we can have a fun night running around and yelling our heads off.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Of course, not realizing that she is not helping Luna.
And of course, time is candy for her. So
Yep.
Fluttershy here. Apparently,
Yeah,
Nightmare Night is the
Fluttershy.
worst night of the year for her, so she's just kept herself locked at home. Doesn't want any trick or treaters. I get it. It's a fun additive element to her shyness. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't like trick or treaters, not because I'm scared. It's just like I don't want the hassle of giving them a candy that nowadays I can't even afford for myself. So I ain't giving it away for free. So I just lock the door, turn out the lights, and avoid the doorbell. So
We don't get trick or treaters here, so don't like kids. So,
uh,
but
yeah.
I don't mind the idea of like giving candy out. I think it's a
Hmm.
fun thing. I just don't want to be involved in it.
Yeah. Speaking of kids, we have a new character in this called Pip. From was it Trottingham or something? Some British
Yeah.
thing. Um, which we're never gonna find out at all. He's kind of the little Timmy in this, in that he, I don't know, has a connection to Luna, and just wants us all to get along. Um,
Little Timmy.
that's from Christmas Carol.
Tiny Tim?
Oh, yes.
I don't I still don't understand the connection.
Okay.
Tiny
Well,
Tim has like a crutch and is like, God bless us everyone.
that's kind of what Pip is, except
Pip
without
is
like
more
the
like
crutch.
oh, I'm not gonna get my first or my first Halloween will be my last Halloween. Oh, this is so sad.
But he also strikes a little chord with Luna. I
Uh,
know it's a bit of a stretch, man, but give it to me.
is
Let
it
me.
is it in the illusions?
I don't think so.
Pip is reminiscent of the character Little Timmy.
No, there is something else in the illusions that is just so far stretched.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
That seems to be there's a sliding scale in the illusions, and on one end is this is so obvious that I can't imagine that someone would not pick up on this. And on the other hand, it's like this is a complete stretch. I don't know where they're even getting this from.
There's a lot of stuff in the illusions, I think, for this one that they just never pick up on. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because we're about to do something here. Going into visuals, like it's fun. We have Nightmare Nights, and
Yeah.
it's at night. It's
It's
dark.
Halloween. I like
Halloween.
Halloween. Halloween
No,
episodes are fun.
yeah, Luna gets a new design. That's cool and spooky. And then we have lots of Halloween costumes. Lots of Halloween costumes. Just looking at the background, it's just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
they're all in costumes. It's great.
So I think
And
we should do a quick round of fashion pony review to toot and boot some of these looks here.
yes, yes, yes. There's too many costumes, so we're not going to get into all of them, but we're going to point out some of the main standpoints. So,
Yeah.
yes.
So Twilight kind of up first here. The first one that we see, she has this sort of big wizard hat, a wizard robe with bells on it. I like the bells. The thing that doesn't work for me here is the beard. It's just
Oh,
it's too loose.
I mean, yeah, that's like the comic beard that you just get at the dollar store.
Yeah.
I have a beard like that. She's evoking what she says is Starswirl the Bearded, an ancient unicorn that helped establish some magical spells. A little fun fact about Starswirl is that he was the mentor to Celestia and Luna, taught them
Okay.
magic, and I think he established the magic school that Celestia now teaches. That's that's not something that's really established in the show. So, but in extra material, I think that was the intention. So,
Okay. Yeah.
and Spike, of course, is dreaming big and wanting to be a dragon.
So yeah, in terms of Twilight's costume, I'm going to I don't know. If not for the beard, that would be an easy toot for me, but I think I'm gonna boot it. The beard just I know it's a reference to a specific thing. It's just it doesn't work for me for her.
I'm gonna toot it. It's funny just to see
Yeah.
Twilight with a beard.
Now,
Yeah,
Spike dressing up as an adult dragon, that's a good bit. I'm gonna boot that.
is it boot or toot?
Or
What is
toot.
it?
Toot. I'm gonna toot that.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm forgetting the terminology.
Yes. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yep. Next up, we have a Pinkie Pie in a chicken
Yeah.
costume
Yeah,
plus Pip.
after a long night of partying, a guest didn't like the session, so he gutted her and set her on fire. But she didn't die; she crystallized, and now she's a chicken ready for the runway. That,
Yeah,
you
I
need to
don't.
go to the Illusions wiki to know what that's about. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't like her legs. They kind of freak me out. The chicken legs. Um,
it's a very odd costume. I like that she adopts the aspect of a chicken, though. I'm gonna give her a toot just for the performance of it.
mhm. Yeah. Next to her, to the left, we have Pip, who is a pirate with an eye
What's
patch.
that? What's that Disney Junior show about the pirate?
Jake and Neverland Pirates.
Like that's the exact same costume, is that not? I never watched that show. I just saw like things
I don't
about
think
it.
I
Oh,
don't think
it's not
Jake has
quite.
an eye patch.
No, he
Um,
does not.
but it's
He has the
generic
red,
pirate. It's a generic. The red is generic pirate. Like almost every pirate depiction has a red thing like
and
that.
just like the hair. The hair isn't the same hair, but it's close enough. That's the vibe I was getting. I
Okay,
haven't seen this character outside of this costume, so I don't know how to evaluate this costume.
I mean that's just the character now. Just the eye patch and the hat.
Okay.
It's not, but that's what we think. Um, the next image is like a blink and you miss it one. So to the right, we have another establishing shot with Twilight and Spike. But to the right of them, we have Mr. and Mrs. Cake. And what caught my eye is that they look to be in some sort of not exact replica, but a sort of Raggedy Ann and
Oh
Andy,
yeah, yeah.
which
That's a good
cough
catch.
cough, which we may or may not.
Series we will never be covering.
No, definitely never.
Not gonna touch that thing with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. Let's see. To the left of Twilight, we have a pony with a sheet. Uh, which
Classic.
finding, yeah, finding. Okay, the identity of this pony is a little bit of a mystery. Because okay, it looks like her skin color is purple, and she's like a those type of eyes. We think it's Berry Punch, the alcoholic, but then we also see Berry Punch in a different costume, uh, as well.
Maybe it
So
was a
my
reveal.
yeah, maybe my no, I don't think so because I think they're in the same scene. My theory is that this is Twilight time traveling,
Oh, okay.
and she's dressed up as a ghost.
Yeah, maybe
That's
it's ET.
maybe it's ET. Then we have like a devil pony. That's interesting.
Yeah, sort of a classic. Very I feel like that exact costume is in Mean Girls. Anyway, yeah. Next up, we have Rainbow Dash, who is dressed as one of the Wonder Bolts.
Shadow bolts.
Shadow Bolts.
Yeah, shadow bolts from the first episode. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's interesting that Rainbow would make her own shadow bolts costume. It is a cool design. It's
yeah.
neat that Rainbow would dress up like that. It's also the last time we'll ever see something like that. So
That's too bad. I'm gonna toot this outfit because I think it
it's
works
cool.
really well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Next up, we have Applejack as a scarecrow.
If she only had a
Make
brain.
she's got apples instead. Um, yeah, scarecrow makes sense. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, look, she looks cute. Yep.
Yeah, I think the hat part isn't fully working for me. If she didn't have the like hood part of it, it might be a bit better. Then I don't know. I don't know
Maybe.
how you do this. But yeah, I'll give this a toot. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good
Toot.
hat.
It's a good hat. Next up, we have a group of fillies, and something that I didn't really realize, but the CMC are in this group of fillies.
Yeah.
Um, and like it's barely noticeable because they never focus on these kids. Like these shots are like very quick. We got Sweetie Belle as a vampire. um, we've got Scootaloo as a werewolf, and then Apple Bloom as the bride of Frankenstein. The
Which
bride.
that's fun that we're getting like three classic movie monsters. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
a good reference.
Yeah. Dinky Doo is the firefighter. You don't know who that is, but that's
Nope.
that character's name. Some filly is a princess with the old fashioned giant hat with the furl at the end. We got some sort of astronaut, and then the ladybug, and she's got little polka dots on her skin, which I don't know what the dots. That's a little weird, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame we don't see the CMC in this because their outfits are so dope, especially
Yeah.
Apple Bloom's.
I
Like
will say I think they all look better than some of the things we've seen before. I'm gonna toot all of their outfits here. And that they sort of coordinated. I mean, we don't know what the universal monsters look like in this universe, but
something like that, I assume. Yeah. Next up we have Big Mac pulling a wagon.
oh,
He's
I
in
love this look.
yeah, it's like what a sort of witch doctor look.
Yeah, it's more just like a cloak with like a little skull on it and then this neat looking top hat. I think
Mhm.
he looks very dapper.
Yeah, the skull is in the shape of his cutie mark, and that's like an apple skull. So that's pretty cool. The hat is cool as well. The wagon has like it's got a witch. We got a Viking and whatever the middle one is. A B. It's a B, I think. Um, they're fine too. But Big Mac, again,
Yeah.
not a whole lot of appearance in this episode, but um, he looks cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna toot that look.
Yeah. Next up, we have Zakura. We got to see Zakura again. It's been a while since we've seen her. Um, she's got her long hair is interesting because her hair is not normally down like that. She got
I like this
spiders.
look. I like this look
It's
a
a
lot.
nice look. Nice
I this
spider
is
accessories.
yeah.
A
This is
bat.
probably my top toot of the week. This
Okay.
is just my favorite outfit. The sort of yeah, the spiders, it's very Halloween, very fun. For a
Mm,
character who like fits the vibe of this episode so well and who we have seen
yes.
very little of.
Uh, very briefly, we don't have a picture of her, but the mayor is dressed up as a clown, which
Yeah.
I don't know if that's intentional meta commentary, but um,
It's funny. I've been reading through the Clown in a Cornfield series, and yep, that was a clown.
yep. Next up, we have a pair of bat ponies, which are Luna's guards. And the thing is, these aren't actually costumes. This is a new species
Okay.
that only appear in this one episode, which is so frustrating because they came up with a really cool design. The fan base really liked it. There's a lot of OCs that are bat ponies, and we never see them again. It is
Uh,
so interesting. Now that I'm looking at it, I wonder if they're actually bat ponies, and if it's not just cool costumes, and we were just so mistaken. Um, Either way,
yeah,
I like the look. It
yeah,
looks very cool.
yeah.
In
Very much
fact,
fits with the vibe of Nightmare
yeah.
Moon.
In fact, Emma Larson's OC is a bat pony, so
Okay.
it's gotta be real somewhere. It's gotta be real. I can believe. I can believe. It's cool. They really fit Luna as well. Like her entrance, her cape, her cloak turns
Yeah.
into bats. What? What bizarreness is that? Let's just coolness. Last image I have for this is just a huge crowd shot with various different things. There's a mouse, there's a medieval knight, some guy with a shark on his yeah, Cleopatra, some weird ninja thing, Minuet, which we assume that she's a dentist. She's dressed up as not a dentist. I think I don't know.
Yeah, a nurse or something.
Yeah,
Old timey.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love in this image where everyone has such a shock expression, but the one in the hood just has a very I don't know. The reason why I think it's Berry Punch is because she looks a little drunk in this. I don't know.
Uh,
Again, that's my theory. I like the Cleopatra one. That kind of stands out a little.
yeah. I'm disappointed we didn't get to see the rest of the main six.
No. Yeah. Yeah. We don't see Rarity in this one, unfortunately. There are
Yeah.
there's a reason for that though.
Okay.
We'll get to that
I
later.
was thinking as I was watching the episode, I'm like, oh, they need to go to Rarity because Rarity is going to be she has the best sort of relevant people skills for what Princess Luna needs to learn. But I think that would have been antithetical to what the episode's trying to be about.
Mm-hmm.
She solves the problem
Yes.
a little too quickly and a little too easily.
Yes. But they also I think they were having a problem with time and they just had to cut her. So
Okay, yeah.
on to some animation errors. The first one is with Luna. Uh and so here it seems that her new updated design was not the original intention of this episode because we have a remnant here from her old design with her mane.
Okay.
So
Yeah. They're
that
off to the
lighter
side.
shade of blue from her hair. So that's that's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what that would have looked like. Um, and the next image, uh, some collision with Twilight and Pinky, and as a result, Pinky is a unicorn now with Twilight's arm.
Yep. Yeah.
Very, very interesting. On to performances. Cast list: Tara Strong, Ashley Ball, Adrib Libman, Tabitha St. Germain, Kathy Westluck, Brenda Tricklow, and William Lawrenson, who is playing Pipsqueak. Uh, Tabitha is Luna. I think she does a good job distincting Luna and Rarity, although we don't see Rarity in this.
Yeah. Performances. They're performances.
Uh, Pipsqueak is British.
Yep.
Why he's British, I don't know. That's
Why
just
not?
what they chose.
Why
Why
not?
not? Why not? On to Illusions via the Pony Wiki. The episode title is a pun on lunar eclipse. Yep. The holiday featured in this episode, Nightmare Night, borrows aspects from the holiday Halloween, as celebrated in the United States. Both holidays involve children going door to door in costumes to collect candy, costume parties, and spooky decorations. I never would have guessed that. Would you? Would you?
Yeah, this is the one you were talking about earlier. That's a bit of a stretch, right?
No. I
I'm
no. I
joking.
think
I'm
I
joking.
yeah. No. Applejack's costume is based on the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz. Nope, I just think it's just a generic Scarecrow.
I mean, I think it's the type of thing of because that design is so iconic,
Uh huh.
every scarecrow, like generic scarecrow, is the scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, specifically the movie version.
Okay, actually, I'll change my mind. I think it is,
Okay.
and I will not give you my reason. And it might
I mean, it's
be
not the first Wizard of Oz reference we've had in the show.
no, yeah. But I just realized something, and I'm not gonna say anything else. In the very beginning of the episode, when Spike and Twilight first appear in their Nightmare Night costumes, the music played is a variation of the famous "In the Hall of the Mountain King." Yep. Uh, the little children's rhyme "Nightmare Night, what a fright! To give us something sweet to bite" is a play. Yeah, trick or treat, smell my feet. Yeah, whatever. Uh, so for Princess Luna's royal guards, writer Emma Larson referenced Thestrals from Harry Potter series in the script. I mean, I don't know. They're bad ponies. So they do pull the carriage.
Yep.
I mean, sure. I guess they were
Yeah,
kind of like
if it's
bad
a specific
horses.
reference in the script, then that makes sense.
Yeah. On to IMDb trivia. Zakora calls Pipsqueak Lil Pip at one point. This is a reference to the fanfiction Fallout Equestria, in which this was a nickname of the main character. This is also among the first references made in the series directed at Bronies. Nope, it is not. It is not. They did not do this to reference Fallout Equestria. It's just the name of that character. That's the stretch I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, they're not allowed to do that. Uh, so,
Yeah.
yeah. In the scene where Derpy bobs for apples, originally Rarity was to appear alongside her, but she was replaced by a different pony in the final product. Uh, and our next one, Rarity was originally going to appear in this episode, where she is still working on her costume when Twilight takes Luna to her to get a makeover and help her look less intimidating. Rarity overdoes Luna's outfit so much that she tears it off. Okay. Pinky, seeing Luna with a piece of a dress in her mouth, leaps to the conclusion that she ate a princess and runs off terrified. However, this scene didn't make the cut, ergo making it the first season 2 episode where a main character is absent. So, yes, they did plan to go to Rarity. And it's a
Okay.
shame we didn't see Rarity's whatever costume it was. I
Yeah,
bet it would
that
have
would
been
have been fun.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friendship report. Twilight learned that one of the best things about friendship is to give it to others and help them find it for themselves. Also, everyone in Ponyville learned that even if some pony is a little intimidating or less even scary, when you offer them your friendship, you'll discover a whole new pony underneath. Sure. And lastly, Derpy Hooves appears in this one. Her costume, 10 out of 10, is just a brown bag on her head. So, yes.
Dressing up as Shia LaBeouf.
Yep. Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's these two episodes. Two very fun episodes. I like these two episodes. They're good. I
I
like
like the
them.
second episode.
I like the first episode. Um, yeah. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and make sure to follow us on your podcast platform of choice and our social media platforms. And we'll be back next week with Generation 1 episode, The Glass Princess. So, yes. Until then, don't choke out any bears.
Bye,
Bye.
ponies.